Hello and welcome to the Big Branch Cincinnati Reds fans video blog. First up, just announced Bryce Harper signed $330 million for 13 years. That's $25.4 million per year. Wow. And he's 26. That takes him up to age 39. Does that come with a walker or a wheelchair to play the outfield? Just kidding, folks. How many of these long-term contracts have to bust before Major League Baseball figures out a decent system to compensate players equally as far as your ability and also compensate the under players fairly? The thing I'm getting at here is this. Every year, more and more free agents are sitting in a backlog waiting for the big boys like Harper and Machado this year, and next year there's 5 or 6 of them to sign. When they sign right around spring training, all the mid and lower level guys who will make teams that are free agents, they get nothing. For instance, the Reds just picked up Derek Dietrich. How do you get a 265 hitter with 75 RBIs and 21 home runs who plays multi-positions well? How do you get him for $2 million on a minor league contract? Because everyone's waiting it out. This system, it's been well documented how incredibly screwed up it is. We all know it is. Major League Baseball needs to fix it. Forget the money. We need to fix the game and the system that governs the game. Okay, let's get into spring training. There's just 4 games, including today. 8-3 when I last heard. The Reds are mashing. Romano gave up 2, or it had been 8-1. Great hitting by the Reds. Right now, Christian Colon, God, what can you say? Here's another guy we got on a minor league contract for next to nothing. He's been a starter, excellent fielder, and he's hitting .429 and 11 at-bats with 5 RBIs. Derek Dietrich, the aforementioned, if you haven't seen the picture I posted on this Big Branch Cincinnati Reds Facebook page, check it out. The muscle man, Derek Dietrich, he's hitting .375 with 5 RBIs. Nick Senzel's hitting .500, 2 RBIs. Kyle Farmer, man, let me tell you, this may be the biggest take, even though Puig and Kemp went out of the yard already today. This guy may be the big find. He starts at third base, shortstop, and catcher, and is technically a catcher. This guy's just really tearing it up. 667, 3 RBIs. Just against the White Sox, he was great. Now, I think yesterday against the White Sox, we saw a kind of a preview of the way the year's going to go. We know the Reds had some guys that could hit with power, get on base, Votto, Jeanette, and so on, and Suarez, till he kind of tanked toward the end of the year. A lot of on-base guys. Well, we had Scott Schebler get a double, Votto gets a single, Puig gets on base, so you got the bases loaded, 1 out, then Derek Dietrich comes up, clutch hit, again, $2 million minor league contract, clutch hit. Then also you have Connor Joe, again, a guy that can play catcher, multi-infield and outfield positions. Connor is hitting very well so far, right at 300. Juan Gratterall, who can't even make the team. There's no way he can make the team on a minor league contract. I mean, gosh, this guy's hitting 1,005 at-bats and 2 RBIs. And Jose Peraza starting out 750. I mean, Peraza's just set for a great year. Pitching, Tanner Roark, so far 3.36 ERA. Just about what we expect. Actually, if he keeps that up for the year, he's going to be in good shape. DeSclafani's had 2 innings. Looks great. 0 ERA. One of my favorites so far is Vladimir Gutierrez, and I've kind of pumped him up a little bit here in the off season. This guy, he's a couple years away, but he's pitching against the big boys as well as the AAA guys, and he was in AA last year. He has a 0 ERA in 3 innings. Jesus Reyes, again, another guy is probably going to start in AAA or Double-A, and we'll get to that later, why he may have to go back to Double-A, even though he has nothing to prove. He has 3 innings of shutout ball. Amir Garrett. We found out this week Amir had a problem. Well, we knew he had a problem at times, but now we know what it is. Sight. He now has contacts. Excuse me. He now has contacts and is wearing glasses off the field. He says he's seeing the ball better. I bet so. Reminds me of shades of Charlie Sheen in the Major League, the movie Major League, when he was the wild thing till he put his glasses on. Excuse me, a little coughing there. Getting over a cold here. Brandon Finnegan. Again, this is a guy that's a paradox wrapped in an enigma. He got shelled his first time out, had 3 scoreless innings yesterday, and looked invincible. Which Brandon Finnegan is going to show up? I mean, we never know with this guy which one is going to show up, and it's been that way for a couple of years. It's going to be very, very, very hard for him to even make it as a reliever. It's tight, folks, and we'll get into more specifics of that. For starters right now, penciled in Wood, Disco, Castillo, Gray, and Rourke. In the bullpen, Hughes, Garrett, Hernandez, Iglesias, Zach Duke, Lorenzen are locks. They're total locks there. So that leaves one spot open. And Finnegan's going to have to pitch out his butt right now in order to get that spot. It's just that simple. It's going to be a huge uphill battle. We have Matt Bowman that we got free agent from the Cardinals. Had a good year, pitched for the Cardinals last year in relief. He's on the injured list right now, but he's not even in the equation right now. So, I mean, Finnegan may be totally out in AAA or someplace before it is all said and done. With 12 position players and with the outfield of 5 guys and only 3 can play at a time, we really only have 2, maybe 3 at the beginning of the season bench positions open. Right now, Derek Dietrich is a multi-position player who has a good bat that can come off the bench. Kyle Farmer has 667 in 3 games, folks. I'm sorry. He can play catcher, shortstop, anything else. He's a backup shortstop. I think Kyle Farmer is a lock for one of those positions. And then we have Connor Joe. He's a multi-position player. Everyone in the Major League Baseball likes this guy. We stole him from the Dodgers. And a little bit more on keeping him later. So with all these multi-position players hitting well so far, I haven't even mentioned Kirk Casale, who is still recovering from his hip surgery. He should be ready towards the end of spring training. So there's another big question mark, what the hey is going on. So we're going to have some big decisions. But actually what this is showing is that for the first time in years that I can remember, the Reds have depth. We have depth in the field. We have depth in pitching. We have depth everywhere. Somebody gets hurt, we've got someone just about as good. We're going to be able to pull up from Louisville if that happens, and that's position and pitching. And the reason I say that is we'll look at the Louisville bats here in just a second. But I also want to mention that we have 2 pitchers that are out of options. Robert Stevenson, who has yet to pitch because of shoulder soreness, and Matt Whistler. Whistler's been a mixed bag. He came in a Duval trade. Personally, I like Lucas Sims much better. I think we have a better shot with Sims. Sims has options to be able to go back to AAA. So I mean, really, we probably need to package Stevenson and Matt Whistler and do something with them, because we're out of options and somebody's going to pick them up, and maybe we should just move on anyway. Back to the Louisville Bats. I'm ready for this year. Can you imagine Lucas Sims, Sal Romano, Jesus Reyes, Cody Reed, Tyler Malley, Jesus Gutierrez? Those are the starters that could be in AAA. And any of those guys can come up and hang with the major league guys, and they're showing that already. I mean, it's just insane. Then you have Wandy Peralta, who I don't expect to make the team and will go to AAA. You got Jimmy Herget. You've got Ryan Hendricks as relievers. Wow, a great lineup there. Then Blandino hasn't played yet. Don't expect him to make it right now. The Reds have other alternatives at shortstop and third with two other people. And let him heal up, come back in his own good time at AAA. But Louisville will have Blandino, Trahan, Irvin, Siri, Trammell, perhaps even Farmer or Casali. I mean, wow. I mean, it's deep, folks. Louisville should definitely be a huge favorite to take their league's pennant. I mean, no problem at all. Now, getting back to the pitching thing, we are very deep, and there's some huge decisions that are going to have to be made. But my suggestion would be take Matt Whistler, Robert Stevenson, Jackson Stevens, who got shelled yesterday, and package them for a trade. And there's some teams that need depth in the minor leagues, and can keep maybe Whistler and Stevenson up the big leagues. That would be Texas, Toronto, and the Miami Marlins, especially the Marlins. And we can get a prospect or two back. We're not going to get anything back if we put them on waivers. So my suggestion would be to package them in a trade. And finally, it's 8-1 Reds, now 8-3. Puig and Kemp are going long ball. We're mashing, folks. I mean, you know, there's no doubt this lineup's going to hit. It doesn't matter who's in there. We've got AA and AAA guys hitting, AAA and MLB starters. So, I mean, it's just, I think it's really a tribute to where the Reds farm system has been brought to in the last couple of years. Pitching is the indicator. Fierce competition is first time in a long time. I mean, we were given John Lamb and Finnegan locks in the rotation when they had never proven themselves or anything. But this year, these guys are going to have to work for it. I mean, they're going to have to work hard. They're going to have to push for the first time in their careers. They're going to have to push. And that's the way baseball's usually always been run. And with pushing these guys, you know, even if you go to AAA, you're going to be mad as hell trying to get your butt back up. So I think this fierce competition, rather than just a little bit of competition and anointing people at positions and the pitching rotation, is going to make a huge, huge difference for the Reds this year. With the depth all over and everything, I think this is going to make for a fun team to watch. Besides Puig's antics and all that, and those are all going to be cute and sweet and all that, but a good team, exciting team to watch. And I really think there's good things coming up for the Reds. This next year is going to be an improvement, sure, we know that, but I think the next couple of years after that, we're not going to shock anybody or surprise anybody, but we're going to be kicking some butt. That's it for this video blog. And I also wanted to mention to everyone that if anyone would like to do a cell phone speaker interview or anything, get in touch with me, let me know. I already have a guest lined up in the summer, a fellow Chesapeakean who's coming here, lives a little fur piece down the road, but he and his wife are coming up, and we'll have a special little video blog for that. But if anyone else would like to put their 2 cents worth in, because gosh knows I'm doing my 2 cents worth, just send me a message on Facebook or post on the page. I'd be more than happy to do it. And I'm reaching back here and getting everything ready to shut it down. So you all have a great day and go Red.